Let's talk about the Southwest. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The World According to Briggs. My name is Briggs. I travel, I make videos, and I once had a gorilla at a Texas zoo throw his droppings at me. Not totally sure why he did it or why I just told you about it, but there it is. The man next to me said, "What'd you do to him?" Still don't know. Today we're continuing our series on where you can retire or live on $1,500 a month. If you haven't seen the other ones, here's a quick recap. Why are we doing $1,500? Out of all the standard retirements, Social Security brings in the least monthly, and that's $1,500 on average. We aren't adding up all the expenses, just rent, food, utilities, and clothing. Just the basics. These are designed to give the average person an idea of what it might cost to live in each town or city. Not getting all in depth with what your car insurance might be and what your medications, that varies for everyone. This is just the basics. Okay, so the Southwest region is Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. Let's see what we found. Number 10, WELTON, Arizona. WELTON, Arizona is about 30 minutes east of Yuma, and it's in the middle of the desert. If you like heat and want to live in a very affordable town, this is a good option. Like so many of the towns on this list, they might not be as good looking as, let's say, some of the New England towns we've looked at. That's just how it is out west. There's some nice places, they're just fewer and far between compared to the East Coast. That doesn't say anything bad about the people or the towns, it's just a climate and dust thing. The heat just weathers pretty much anything you own there. WELTON has a livability score of 70. That's not the best, but it's not bad when you look at some of their good stats. What's really bringing them down is schools and amenities. There's really not anything to do and the schools don't get the best marks. They have very low crime and a very low cost of living. Now, here's another disclaimer. A lot of these places may not have apartments in them, but different real estate sites give them an average what rent would be for a one-bedroom apartment at these places. We use it here as a gauge to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at if you do move there. But if there were a whole bunch of one-bedroom apartments in WELTON, Arizona, the average rent on a one-bedroom apartment would be $637 on average. This place, the homes are so cheap, you might as well just buy one. But you can get by in WELTON, Arizona on $1,496 a month. Number 9, OLMITO, Texas. OLMITO is a census-designated place in the Brownsville metro area with about 1,200 residents. This is a small town that's growing. They've been building some nice homes in and around OLMITO for a few years now. OLMITO has decent stats on everything but jobs. Crime is low, homes and rent are affordable, and you're not too far from really great tacos. The whole Brownsville area, for some reason, just has great taco shops everywhere. Weird. Some of the best tacos are there. Anyway, in general, the best Mexican food you can find is going to be in Texas, in my opinion, but Brownsville really takes it up a notch. This is a great place for retirees. Warm weather, very inexpensive state to live in, and OLMITO is a very inexpensive place to live. Rent here will only run you about $597, and you can actually get by on $1,487 a month. And that's not bad considering this place has a livability score of 77. Number 8, Shady Point, Oklahoma. Shady Point is technically part of the Fort Smith, Arkansas, Oklahoma metro area. I say technically because A, Fort Smith is in another state, and B, it's a good distance away from Fort Smith, so I'm not sure how they can consider it part of the metro area, but okay. It just seems strange to me. But that's what they say it is, so we're going with it. The population of Shady Point was 1,026 people in 2010, and they think they lost about 10 people since, so they're a little bit smaller. This is another town that if it wasn't for the train, it probably wouldn't even be a town. A lot of this town's history goes hand in hand with the comings and goings of trains. Crime is non-existent in Shady Point. If someone gets a DUI, it's probably going to make the local paper here and talked about for months after. The crime rate in Shady Point is actually 99% lower than the national average. The Poto River runs right past town, which is a branch of the Arkansas River, and they've got good fishing. Apparently really good catfish there, and in that area, they get some record-breaking trout. Maybe not this river, but some of the rivers around there, they get some good-sized trout. They might get them in the Poto River too, I just didn't see much about that. The livability score in Shady Point is 77, and not like they have any apartments to rent, but it's estimated that a one-bedroom apartment here would go for $592 a month, and you only need $1,487 to get by in Shady Point, Oklahoma. It's a nice, quiet place to live. Number 7. CLAYTON, New Mexico. The Cimarron cutoff of the Santa Fe Trail brought some of the first Americans through the CLAYTON region way back when. Everyone's heard of the Oregon Trail, but there's a few other trails in this country's history that aren't as well known. The Santa Fe Trail is one of them. It was first established in 1821 after the Spaniards got kicked out of Mexico. It connected Franklin, Missouri with Santa Fe, New Mexico. Clayton is in the northeast corner of New Mexico, not far from both the Texas and Oklahoma border. They don't have much to do here in Clayton, but it's really cheap. And it's got good stats other than schools. What really sticks out about them is their cost of living is so low. The estimated average rent on a one-bedroom apartment is $531. You could get by here on $1,477. And they have a livability score of 75. Number 6, ERICK, Oklahoma. ERICK was established in 1901 as a farming community on what would become the edge of the Dust Bowl during the Great Depression in the 1930s. Yeah, this is like the heart of the Dust Bowl. These days, it's an incredibly cheap place to live. ERICK sits a little over 2 hours west of Oklahoma City, and it's about the midway point if you're driving to Amarillo, Texas from Oklahoma City. There isn't much to ERICK. There's a place with a bunch of hubcaps, that's kind of neat, but it is a nice, tight-knit community on the Oklahoma prairie. They don't have crime, and the schools in the area get good grades. It's a little light on things to do, other than saving money by not doing stuff. You could get by here on $1,471 a month. They have a livability score of 79, and if they did have apartments here, they would go for about $520 a month for a one-bedroom. ERICK, Oklahoma's main thing is if you want to live cheap, this is a good place to give that a go. Number 5, Mountain View, Oklahoma. Staying in Oklahoma, we have the small town of Mountain View. Not sure what mountains they're viewing. It's Oklahoma after all, and it's pretty flat. This town sort of doesn't make the cutoff of 1,000 residents, but they have a bunch of farms on the outside of town, and it's got really great stats, so I'm putting them in it. They've got around 800 residents that live in this nice little town. Not a lot goes on here. If you move there, you might be the talk of the town for like a month. It's a wonderful small community, no crime, good weather, clean air, and a very low cost of living. All those good things give Mountain View an 86 livability score. They don't have any apartment buildings, but the estimate is that if they did, they would go for $508 a month. You could survive in Mountain View, Oklahoma on $1,425 a month. Number 4, Cameron, Texas. We talked about Cameron before in a Safest City video. Cameron is safe, it's clean, welcoming, and it is close to one of my favorite cities in the country, Austin, Texas. Cameron is a little over an hour northeast of Austin, Texas, with the Little River flowing just to the south of town. Cameron is named after Ewan Cameron, a Scottish Highlander who fought in the Texas Revolution and was a member of the Meyer Expedition, or Meyer Expedition, however you want to pronounce it. This was during the war with Mexico. This is one of those great Texas towns that has like a Christmas parade, barbecue shootout, Steak and Stein wine fest, warehouse of horrors during Halloween. And it's cheap. The estimated rent on a one-bedroom apartment in Cameron is $500, and you only need $1,390 to get by in Cameron. Now, they do have a livability score of 75, and that's really because they don't have any jobs there. If you are bringing a job with you, they'd love to have you. If you're retired, move to Cameron. It wouldn't be a bad choice. Unless you hate Texas, then don't even think about it. Number 3, SPUR Texas. SPUR Texas is a small town about an hour east of Lubbock, Texas. This is one of those small towns that the big event for the week for the whole town is the high school football game. Sure, the team only has 20 players, and one of them reminds you of McLovin from the movie Superbad, but it's Texas football, so they love it. Go Bulldogs. This is where Marshall Applewhite was born. He's that crazy cult leader from Heaven's Gate cult. They aren't a cult anymore because they all decided that a comet was actually a spaceship they all wanted on, and the only way to get on said spaceship was to kick the oxygen habit in a multi-million-dollar mansion near San Diego. Other than that, Loon, SPUR is a great community and it's very affordable. If you can get used to that Texas heat, this is a great place to retire, or if you could take a job with you, work remotely, this is a great place to save some money. The estimated rent for a one-bedroom apartment in SPUR, Texas is $462. You could get by in SPUR, Texas on $1,375. That's not bad for a place that has a 77 livability score. Number 2, Santa Rosa, Texas. Santa Rosa is a small community of just under 3,000 people, about 15 minutes northwest of Harlingen, Texas. Santa Rosa is about 25 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, which is a really good thing. This is South Texas. It gets hot. You want to head someplace and spend a weekend out of the heat? The Gulf of Mexico is where you go. March, November, and February are the most pleasant months in Santa Rosa, while August and July are the least comfortable, with temperatures just, the type of heat where you stick your head in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes every day? Yeah, every hour sometimes? Yeah, that gets rough. Santa Rosa is a farming community with not many farming jobs. That and amenities are the only things really wrong with this place. Everything else is kind of nice. They don't have much to do, and they don't have a lot of jobs, so perfect for people working remotely and retirees. The cost of living here is insanely low, and the housing is also very low, so that's the big attraction to moving to Santa Rosa. The median rent here is $419. You could survive here on $1,370 a month. That's not bad for a place that has a livability score of 73. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, join our community, and hit that little bell notification so you know when we upload it. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Bullhead City, Arizona. At number 1, we have Bullhead City, Arizona. This isn't the cheapest on the list, but it has some other things that put it at the number 1 spot. I've been kind of ranking them going from the more expensive to the cheapest. This one kind of falls in the middle, but it has so many other things we're putting it here. Bullhead City is where California, Nevada, and Arizona meet. The Colorado River separates both from Arizona, and Laughlin, Nevada, and its casinos are right across the river from Bullhead City. For retirees, this is a dream come true. Gambling, hot weather, boating, golf, what more could you ask for? No, really. What more would you want in a retirement town? Let us know in the comment section below. We're working on another list, and your suggestions might come into play. But back to Bullhead City. I've been there many times. Really, for the most part, I've been to Laughlin and the river, but I've been to Bullhead City more than a few times. It's not a bad city. If you can take the heat, like I said, but it's the best in my opinion. The median rent in Bullhead City is $710, and you could survive here on $1,450 a month. Their livability score is 70. So Bullhead City is number 1 in the southwest of the United States to live under $1,500. All right, that's our list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Like I said before, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, tell us what you thought. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.